Hey everyone. I just had a couple of quick housekeeping logistical things that I wanted to address really quick. I wanted to do it as a video instead of typing out because I wanted you to be able to see my face and hear my tone of voice and know that I'm truly not trying to be snarky or condescending in anything that I'm going to say with this. This is just a couple of reminders about some important things for the course, okay? First and foremost, with the discussion boards, please remember when you make your post, don't just post on Wednesday or Thursday. In this class, it's due Thursday. Don't just post on Thursday and then disappear until 10 p.m. on Sunday night when you log back on to do your replies. Because if you have gotten something incorrect in your main discussion posts and I catch it and write a correction of, you need to take another look at this, this wasn't quite done correctly, there seems to be a misunderstanding here, whatever it might be, you do need to correct that. If you have an error in your discussion post that I have pointed out and you do not correct it, that is a point loss, which you can see on the rubric that I've splattered all over Canvas for how I grade these discussion boards. So make sure that after you've posted that you are logging back on and checking and seeing if I've left you feedback about a correction that needs to be made. That's one of the first main things. One of the other things, speaking of, not disappearing until Sunday at late in the evening, just a reminder, I am happy to answer questions. A lot of weekends I am sitting on my computer working, prepping stuff for the next week or whatever. If I'm sitting here, I'm not going to be difficult and not answer an email just out of principle. I will do it. However, as a behavioral scientist, I'm also a big advocate for work-life balance. And because of that, as I mentioned in the syllabus and in the welcome video, I don't guarantee that I'm sitting here answering emails every weekend, all weekend. So just to reiterate, if you have a difficulty or a misunderstanding that comes up on Sunday night and I don't see it because you didn't ask me until Sunday night, that will not be grounds for an extension. Please make sure that you have looked over the material well enough during the week to have been able to ask me any questions that you need to ask me. On a similar note, I know that life happens. I know that stuff happens. If you're waiting until late Sunday night to do your homework and you have a technology failure, as I have mentioned in the syllabus, that also that's not something I can give an extension for. And again, that's not me trying to be difficult. It gets out of control if I do. I'm out of 2 classes right now that I'm teaching. In those 2 classes alone, this morning when I logged on to my email, I had 6 emails sent late Sunday night regarding some element of technology failure. Can I have an extension for this? And again, I understand life happens, and I understand that there are weeks that are chaos, and Sunday at 10 p.m. is when schoolwork happens. I get that. But if that is becoming a habit and there's a technology failure on a Sunday, like I said, just this week in just 2 out of the classes I teach, there were 6 of them. I can't give everyone extensions for technology failures, or I'm going to have stuff bouncing around all over the place. That is part of an online course, is making sure that you have reliable technology. And for my own sanity and for everyone's fairness, that is a policy that I do need to stick by from my syllabus. So just another reason that I would encourage you to get on and be working early so that you're not having a 10 p.m. Sunday night technology failure with no other options before the due date. So discussion. Oh, also, I know that there was a lot of difficulty with this week's content on t-test. We're covering t-test again this week. These are both going to be on the midterm. The midterm is going to be cumulative so far from what we've covered this semester. So if there is anything we've done so far this semester that you are unclear on, please revisit it to save yourself a lot of stress here in 2 weeks during the midterm. I have a midterm study guide posted. I have a study video posted. I have walkthroughs and sample questions. I have given you all the tools that you need to be able to do well on the midterm, but everything we've talked about so far is on it. So if there is something that you have not understood, please go ahead now and start trying to get a better handle on it. Email me. Let's figure out how we can help you understand this better so you don't go into panic mode when you go over the midterm study guide. The last item, speaking of being able to understand things better, again, I'm happy to answer questions. We can get on Discord and do virtual office hours or use another video call platform, or you can email me or whatever you want to do. What I would ask though is, pardon my dog, is when you email me, please do not send me and this has happened a lot. I'm not calling out any one person. Like this has happened multiple times the last couple weeks, which is why I'm mentioning it. Please don't just email me and say, I don't get it. Because from where I'm sitting, I've recorded multiple lectures for each chapter. And those of you who are watching the lectures know a lot of the chapters might have 7-8 lectures. I've recorded lectures. I've thought of examples. I've worked stuff out on a whiteboard. I've worked stuff out holding my camera and writing. I've created hypothetical scenarios and sample data sets to work with and tried to explain things in a more clear manner than your textbook. From where I'm sitting, like I've reworded your textbook and elaborated to the extent that I know how to. Okay. So if you email me and say, hey, I don't get it, that doesn't really give me much to go on in terms of how to help you further, which I am happy to do. But just please, if you're going to email with questions, which I highly encourage, please give me a specific question or a specific problem that you're having that we can work through, that we can brainstorm, that we can address, because at least that gives a starting point of, hey, I really don't understand how to read the significance values for the t-tests, or I really don't understand this whole one sample versus independent sample thing. Email me a specific question and we will absolutely work through it. But again, I don't really know where to go with a just generic statement of, hey, I didn't understand this chapter. Can you help? I need some additional guidance in terms of how to help you. Also, please make sure you're watching the lecture videos if you don't understand the chapter, because again, that's me elaborating and explaining as well as I know how. I think that's all the logistical things I have for now. Please let me know if you have questions as you work through this week's material and t-test. I think we're getting into the really interesting stuff now. Again, if from past weeks, if there's stuff that you're really thinking, I don't get it, I failed that week and I still have no idea, please start working that out, or the midterm is just going to be torture for you. And I don't want that for anyone. So let me know if you have questions, and I will be talking to all of you soon.